Celebrities who insulted Shane Dawson during this drama. By now we have all heard the news of Shane Dawson being officially demonetized by YouTube. But did you know that several celebrities had spoken out against him during this time? Before we get started, remember to smash that like button and let us know whose side you are on in the comments. Shane's troubling past. Shane Dawson is one of YouTube's biggest creators. He has been a user of YouTube for over a decade and is used as a way to share various skits and characters he has created throughout his teen years. Shane has a massive archive of his original YouTube videos that were typically incredibly offensive to people of color and people of other nationalities. Many have referred to these videos as a product of their time, but there's never a time for racism. While we certainly hope that Shane didn't intend on being racist in his sketches, he certainly released a large amount of content that is highly questionable. Many of his original videos were directed towards children or teenagers, and Shane seemed to be doing very well for himself during this time. He began uploading to YouTube as a form of hobby before YouTube was a monetizable platform. YouTube was just becoming mainstream and Shane began to experience his first taste of fame. Many of his fans recall this as proof that Shane is truly passionate about his work and not simply cashing in on his fans. As some viewers have suggested over the years, Shane was part of YouTube for several years before he was able to monetize his videos, though he has quickly became one of the first creators to be able to monetize a channel. From this point forward, Shane became incredibly popular and he found himself being one of the top creators on the website, developing one of the first dedicated YouTuber fan bases on the platform. Shane used this opportunity to his advantage and began uploading videos regularly. He had begun to introduce several of his most popular characters, including the infamous Shanae, a girl who grew up on the streets in the ghetto. While Shanae is one of Shane's most memorable characters, she is far from the most offensive. Shane spoke out in one of his most recent videos and said, "I'm going to start with all the racism I put onto the internet as an adult, not as a child. I was at least 20 when I started YouTube, and I decided to play stereotypes of black people or Asian people or Mexicans, or pretty much every race. I made that decision. I said, oh, this is funny, and put that on the internet." Aside from Shanae's offensive language, Shane also brought several black characters into the mix, though we use that term lightly as these characters were just Shane with blackface painted on. He continued to say, "Blackface was something I did a lot. There is no excuse for it. I'm sorry that I added to the normalization of blackface or the normalization of saying the N-word. And my justification for that time was, oh, I was playing a character and it was in comedy, and my black friend was there, and that makes it okay. No, it's not okay. Me as a white person wearing a wig and playing a character and doing stereotypes, and then saying the N-word is something I should have probably lost my career for at the time. There's no amount of apologizing that can take it away." Shane's content has recently begun to make headlines again, with many new viewers digging up dirt on Shane and calling him out for his offensive video collection. Even though Shane has deleted all his original videos, clips and mirror uploads remain across YouTube and other websites. It seems as though many of Shane's recent fans were blissfully unaware of his offensive and insensitive past, as Shane has been losing hundreds of thousands of followers after this news was brought to light. The situation only grew worse as major celebrities began to jump on board and shame Shane for his past. Celebrities against Shane Dawson. Jaden Smith was one of the first individuals to speak out against Shane. Jaden is the son of Will Smith and the brother of Willow Smith. Many years ago, Shane posted an extremely inappropriate video in which he pretended to pleasure himself in front of a photo of Willow Smith, a young girl who was just 11 years old at the time. A video like this is incredibly uncalled for, and we can't imagine what must have been going through Shane's mind when he filmed it. Since this video has resurfaced online, Shane has seen a lot of backlash in the comments. Shane spoke out about his previous actions in his Taking Accountability video, seeming to suggest that his behavior was due to him being both depressed and riddled with anxiety. Though countless commenters have repeated the phrase, "Depression and anxiety is not an excuse to sexualize children, Shane." This seems to be a trending comment recently, and we hope that Shane has been listening to his viewers and has learned from his mistakes. We would never wish for Shane's life to be completely ruined over his actions. Rather, it's more important that he acknowledges his mistakes and makes obvious changes to his character and moral compass to ensure that things like this never happen again. And this seems to be the census of his fans as well. Many of Shane's fans have been following him for years, some for over a decade, and it seems virtually everyone is angry with him on some level. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Shane has been called out for this though. However, this is the first time things have ever been taken so far, resulting in YouTube disabling disabling monetization on his channel. It can be assumed that this is due to the political climate in America right now, with the Black Lives Matter movement sweeping across the country rapidly. Even though Shane has been demonetized for his past actions before, it seems like now is the first time that anyone was willing to genuinely do anything about it, especially since various celebrities are now standing up against Shane. Morph is one of the most important companies to have pulled Shane Dawson's products. They spoke out against Shane by removing his Conspiracy makeup palette series from their online store, a series that was allegedly over $20 million. Shane worked alongside Jeffree Star to create the palette. An insider indicates that the palette was so popular when it launched that it caused the Morph website to crash due to the high volume of purchases. At the moment, Jeffree Star's website is still prominently displaying Shane's palettes, so it doesn't seem as though Jeffree plans on cutting Shane out of the picture. Target also spoke out against Shane and said, "We are committed to creating an experience which all guests feel welcome and respected. We're in the process of removing these books from our assortment." Shane had previously released 2 books, with Target being one of the largest retailers to carry these books. So if you're looking to purchase either of these, keep an eye on the clearance shelf over the next few weeks. Female rapper Cupcake also spoke out against Shane in a tweet that read, "Shouldn't be lusting over no children at all. It's sick. You grown men are ridiculous. So I'm gonna say this. Shane Dawson, it was fun making videos with you, but I choose to unfollow you and go my separate way. You have some growing to do." Cameron Lester, a prominent African-American beauty model, spoke out against both Shane and Jeffree, saying that he will be cutting ties with them both. He mentioned in a lengthy Instagram video that he felt as though he was being used as a token black person by Jeffree's company, and that he wasn't being valued for who he truly was, but rather being used simply for the color of his skin. We certainly hope this isn't true, but it is easy to understand why Cameron may have felt this way. The end of Shane Dawson. Shane has always been honest about his past on YouTube. He has mentioned his offensive content in the past and has gone to lengths to remove virtually all his old videos, though many viewers are also unwilling to accept Shane's apology regarding these older videos, because his original content remained monetized for months after he had already spoken out against it. Considering Shane is now permanently demonetized on YouTube, time will tell how Shane's future plays out. Shane's channel is still active, though Shane doesn't appear to have any plans to upload new content. For now, we will have to wait and see what becomes of Shane Dawson. It's difficult to see such a talented creator follow this path, but we hope that Shane can realize the error of his ways and eventually come back on top, though without all the racial slurs and insensitivity. Shane can do so much better than this, and we hope he can realize this before it's too late. There have been sources that seem to suggest Shane could be facing a criminal investigation by local police regarding his previous videos, but we don't know if this is true or just a rumor. Some sources indicate that Shane could be investigating regarding the video he posted about Willow Smith. An investigation like this could completely end Shane's career, if it hasn't been ended already. We hope that Shane was not genuinely involved in any predatory actions against children, but if he was, he must be held accountable for his actions. Shane hasn't uploaded to his channel in the last few weeks and has been largely unresponsive to the controversies surrounding his channel, aside from a tweet that read, "I deleted everything. I'm done." For those who wanted me to address it, I did. I'm sure you can find it reposted somewhere, but I don't want this energy in my life or on my timeline. I'm too sensitive for this and I'm done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.